What if I told you there's only one thing you need to get bigger shows, find a manager, and even get noticed by record labels? Now, I bet you might have even heard of this thing or been told to make one before, and it's an EPK, or an electronic press kit. It looks like this. Now, this EPK has helped us get management, press, and even get noticed by record labels, and I'm gonna show you how to make one just like this. As always, don't forget to click subscribe down below. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so if you hit the little bell icon, YouTube will let you know when I have a new video up. Now, I'm sure you've heard it before.
Cody, you need to build an electronic press kit. Cody, where's your EPK?
And anybody who's told you that is not wrong at all. An EPK takes all this information about you as an artist and condenses it down to this small little format that makes it really easy for whoever's reading it to get a really good idea of what you stand for as a band and what you're doing. You can send this to local promoters to help you get on bigger shows, to press companies for them to do write-ups on you, for management to see if they'd be interested in working with you, and even record labels to see if they're interested in picking up your product. So let's jump into it and I'll show you exactly how to build this on your own. Okay, now first thing to think about when you're building an EPK is how are you going to deliver it to people and where are you going to put all this stuff? What I've been using lately is Google Drive. It's very simple. I just send over a shareable Drive link and then all the information that anybody would need is right there. There are some other really cool ways to do this. There's some great websites that will let you host EPKs through them, or you can even build your own website and have everything embedded in there. These do look really great, but they take a lot more time to build, and it's so much easier for me to just throw stuff in a folder and forget about it until I need to update it. As you can see, it's been since November since I've updated mine, and it's March. So I thought what better time to go through everything and just kind of update it and touch it up as we go. So what kind of things do you want to have in your EPK? Well, first of all, I think having your most relevant music in there is very, very important. That's at the top of mine. Now you can have links to this music. Personally, I just threw the files in here so that whoever I send it to can listen to it right through Google. Now I do also have a private SoundCloud link that I'll normally throw in an email, or I believe it's in our bio. And this is another great way to get your music to people. I don't necessarily recommend using Spotify links, as not everybody has Spotify or any other streaming platform. So use something that no matter who opens it or where they open it, they're gonna be able to listen to it. So I recommend either just throwing it right in the folder or using SoundCloud. Next thing that's super important to have in your EPK is a little bit of live footage. When you're trying to get a show, or if you're reaching out to a manager or a booking agent, people are going to want to see what you look like as a live band. So I have 3 different songs of ours in a folder that anybody can watch. One of them is a little bit older, and then 2 of them are newer performances from us. And this is basically for anyone to see what our show looks like and how we perform and how we sound live, along with the growth that we've experienced year over year. And as we play more shows and have an opportunity to film more of our shows, I plan on adding even more new content. Now with this, you do want to structure it so that your newest stuff and most relevant stuff is at the top. You don't want someone's first click to be on your 2018 live footage. Also, these don't have to be the greatest looking videos. They can even be phone footage. Really, anything does the trick. Once again, you're just trying to show someone exactly what you're like as a live band. They're not looking for top professional quality video. They just want an understanding. They're probably not even going to watch this thing all the way through, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about it. Now, next up is a really, really important one. This is your full biography. Now this biography is going to be very, very important that you spend a fair bit of time on. Maybe if you don't have the best writing skills, get someone to help you. Maybe you have a friend in university who writes a lot of papers, or you can even hire someone to write a biography. Regardless, this is so important that you have a very detailed list of exactly who you are as a band. Keep in mind that whoever you're sending this to is going to have absolutely no clue who you are. They've probably never heard of you before, and this is their introduction to you. You don't want it to be a long, boring read. You do need to keep it somewhat short and concise, but make sure that you put in as much detail about you as a musician as possible. So you'll notice for ours, we have our logo right at the top. This has been our text logo since day one, and so we really want to make sure that we incorporate that as part of our branding. Next, you'll see a short little bio. This is kind of who we are as a band and how we've developed everything, along with what we sound like and some tour history. This is just kind of, once again, for someone who's never heard of us before to really understand what we're all about and what we've been doing. After that, we have our vision. This is what we're looking for and what we need help with and what our plan is for the next year or the next 2 years. Now, I think this is one of the most important parts of your biography. This is really going to tell whoever you're sending it to exactly what you're trying to do. And when you're trying to build a team, whether that's through a manager or a booking agent or a record label, you really want to make sure that everybody is on the right page. So having a really in-depth vision and really thinking about what you want to be as a band over the next year or 2 is going to help the rest of your team understand that as well. So it's really important that you spend some time not only creating your vision, but articulating it very well here so that whoever reads it is going to have a great idea of what you're trying to do And then lastly, I think it's really great to throw in a little bit about the members of the band. This often gets overlooked in a biography, but I think it adds so much value. Most musicians in a band are quite talented and impressive on their own. This is just going to be a great opportunity for you to brag about yourself a little bit, list all of your accomplishments, whether it's directly related to you as a musician or not. It's super important to throw in here whatever you can. And then also don't forget to throw in some social media links. You want to make it super easy for whoever's trying to find you. Just be one click away for them if they want to check out your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, whatever it is, just throw it in there. It's not supposed to be a focus or anything, but often the people that you're reaching out to will want to see these things and just check your numbers and how engaged you are with your following on these sites. All right, I'm going to skip the one sheet for a sec. We'll get to that in just a minute. Next, a super important thing I think you're going to want to have in there is your show and merch stats. Now, just to show you what mine looks like over the past year, I don't think this is super important, but often people want to see where you're playing and how many people are coming out and what the tickets are selling for. I even threw in how much merch we sold there. You don't have to do any of this, but again, it's just something that's going to help, especially if you're trying to book bigger local shows or get on maybe a support tour or something like that. This is really going to show that either you're a band that's really trying to grow by playing a ton of local shows and really grinding, or that you're a more experienced band and you can play cities outside of your local scene and still have a decent attendance and still have people roll through every time you play. And then lastly, I just like to have our latest release numbers out there. These are actually a bit old, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull new numbers. Super simple. If you're on Mac, just go Command-Shift-4 on your Spotify for Artists page and take a quick little screenshot, and done. Go over to my desktop. Oh look, I had a typo there. Whoops. That's been like that for a while. Anyways, I'm creating a new one this year as we go, so that's no biggie. Spotify release numbers. Now, I always like to throw the date in here that I'm making it, because it seems like every other month I'm updating these, so just have the date in there so that you don't get confused with your information. All right, so the big one, your one sheet. I think this is probably the most important part of your EPK. Basically, this is just gonna be a condensed down version of all your information. You're gonna have a short little part of your bio, what some of your social media stats are looking like, what your streams are looking like, who your demographic is, along with an image. And this is an opportunity for you to show whoever you're sending this to who you are as a band. This is gonna give them a general idea of your theme and mood and really how you're looking to brand yourself as a band. Now this is an older one. This is November 2018. I just want to show you this really quick because this is kind of how we were branding ourselves as a band at that time before our most recent release. Now, as you can notice, we're using like this nice little orange and teal color scheme, and everything kind of has this like grainy film look to it. It definitely has a certain mood to it, and we wanted to express that through our one sheet as easily as possible. Now, if I move over to our updated one, it follows that yellow branding scheme that I've been talking about with Bellevue. And I think this just really sums up who we are as a band. You need to try to build some sort of theme or mood, anything that's going to help you stand out from everybody else. So I want every time someone sees the color yellow with music to think of us. Like we're the yellow band. That's just it. Nobody else is yellow. It's us. Now it is super important here that you don't get too carried away with how much information you have on there. You want to make sure that it still is a nice looking photo. Personally, I actually like this old layout of our EPK a little bit better. I just think it's a little more cohesive. It really focuses our faces in the middle, and that's super important. People want to make a connection with you, and like music industry people as well, not just fans. The people who are going to be your manager or your record label or your booking agent or the promoter on your show. They want to know who they're working with and who they're talking to, and they're sending emails back and forth. So I really like the way this one's laid out and the way it looks. So clearly this one needs some work, October 2019. So that's something I'm going to do, just move some stuff around, try to make it look a little bit better. Now, if you don't have any Photoshop skills and you don't know how to make this, I would just recommend reaching out to someone. Maybe you could find someone on Fiverr, or maybe you have a friend with some Photoshop skills. And if you show them an image of a couple, you can just Google bands one sheets, and you should get a ton that pop up. And just try to copy what they're doing, but with your own flavor, and make sure that you're really pushing who you are as a band. Now, one important thing that I noticed that we are missing from our EPK is a list of photos and promo content. When you are reaching out to any press companies or any PR, it's really important that you have a good list of cohesive photos that kind of all go together. This way, if you are reaching out to anybody to make posts about you, or maybe to a promoter to get you on a show, they have a photo of you that they can use to advertise for you and really help promote whatever product that is, whether it's a show or whether it's a CD or if it's a little write-up. So throw together a quick little photos folder. And if you don't have any photos, go out, take some. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Just try to make sure you think of a theme and a mood and a branding concept, and just have all these photos look somewhat cohesive. Really put some thought into it. Think about what you're gonna wear, what the background's gonna be. And work with your photographer or whoever's the kind of creative person on this to really help develop exactly what you're going for. So is all of this making sense? Are you kind of following along with me? If so, go leave a like down below so that I know it's working for you. Now, one thing that I think you can do and really utilize to your advantage is having more than one EPK and more than one sheet. It's okay to have just certain items and folders on your one sheet that only specific people can see. So maybe if you're trying to reach out to a booking agent, that's going to be a little bit different of an EPK than if you're reaching out to a record label. And that might be a different EPK if you're reaching out to a manager or to a promoter. When you're sending an email to someone, you're not going to be sending an email saying the exact same thing, so I don't think your EPK should be the exact same for everybody you send it to. Now, this isn't going to take a lot of work to set up. Really, it's just a matter of catering the contents inside of it and the focus of your EPK to whoever's going to see it. I think not only will this help you achieve the results that you're trying to achieve by reaching out to these people, it's going to be easier for them to read through it, and you're going to get more results out of it in the long haul. I hope you found this information super helpful, guys. If you did, be sure to like it down below. And if you feel like trolling or don't think it was very good, drop a dislike. I have yet to get one, so that'd be cool. You don't make it on YouTube until you have a dislike. If you know anybody else who needs an EPK built and might benefit from this video, be sure to share it with them. And as always, don't forget to click subscribe for more great content like this. Peace. If you know anybody else who might, if you know anybody else